banned or picked in the first stage, you got like third or fourth ban. So it seems those teams didn't prioritize as much.
Yeah, nice call. They're going to just not even bother with the Meepo.
Shadow Demon for DC, probably. Yeah, because they know Secret plays a lot of Shadow Demon Luna. There's going to be Rubik and Luna or not. Okay.
That's a hero I thought they'd be playing a lot. When you ask what is Secret going to do, I'm thinking they want to pick mid one Ember Spirit. It was historically like his best hero on Fnatic. Back in the Fnatic days, like he just carried and won games off of his Ember Spirit. So I think this is a hero they're going to want to give mid one a lot.
But I mean, it doesn't feel like a little bit of a drafting advantage now for DC because they commit for the Shadow Demon, and you know that Secret's like, well, we have to take the Luna now. And because they want to commit and get mid one's hero too, they just show their hand right away and say these are going to be our two cores.
Oh yeah, DC can do absolutely everything they want now. They know exactly what the two main cores are going to be. They can look to counter pick the lane matchups. They can get one of like the good matchups versus Ember, like get the Ursa mid, get the Invoker mid. They are in a position of strength as far as not revealing anything with their draft.
Yeah, they have a lot of hero pool for the mid, since Viha is one of the most versatile players. He's like really good on Queen of Pain, Invoker, whatever you name it.
This is a guy who started, or at least his namesake had started by just being a Meepo spammer. He played Meepo all the time. He actually also played a lot of Earth Spirit at the time, and that was it. And suddenly he's getting onto these big teams. He started with the Balkan Bears, of course, and then he got his big time like jumping into like a team secret. And then we started to see his hero pool evolve. It was like Windrunners from time to time back at Nanyang, Invokers, which it looks like we're going to be seeing here and now, and it already get that wonderful pairing with the Shadow Demon too.
This is a team that learned a lot from Newbie in that best of 5 against at ESL. They ended up beating them, and I think one of the things they learned was how to play on that dire side with the aggro trialings, using the Shrine right by that tier 2 tower. And with the Shadow Demon, I wouldn't be surprised to see them looking to even contest that bottom lane.
A ban of the Enigma. I wonder if that's respect to Puppy or to this new rumored off-lane Enigma thing. Yeah,
I was saying it like yesterday, I think, that Enigma should have been played offlane. I'm surprised no one picked it yet. Maybe they...
It was banned last game, and Kezu played a lot when he was with Escape. So this is like a, I think, target ban a bit of Kezu.
All right.
Oh, and another very popular pickup who's found much success this tournament, Earth Spirit, of course. He will
I would like to actually see the win rate on this tournament for Earth Spirit so far. It's like really high.
Yeah, someone saying it was like 88% after yesterday, and I believe it's almost won every game today so far. I'm not sure on that one, so it's definitely up there. The Spirits have been having a wonderful tournament so far. Except Storm, forget that guy.
Digital Chaos needs some lockdown for Ember. I think one more hero, probably a Misery hero. Or what do they prefer to play? Sanking offlane or
Legion Commander is like another,
yeah. Ban of the Dazzle here. Good defensive hero. Sounds good success, in particular with OG yesterday. And was always a Puppy classic, of course. Speaking of Puppy classics, any room in here to mix in something like the Chen or any sort of jungling hero that, you know, Secret or Puppy like to pull out time to time?
Last game we saw Chen, that was the first appearance on the tournament. I don't find it so strong because jungle was nerfed. It's really good if you just pressure it from the really start. And well, we saw how strong it is when he stomped with that Centaur, like stopping 2 or 3 men tipping to the base. That was like really good.
Another core hero, in theory, could be a support, but Nyx secured and grabbed up.
I guess they picked up Nyx because of the Ember Spirit, so...
That's true, protects the Ember.
Digital Chaos doesn't get it. It's really easy to stun Ember for like, what, 4 seconds?
Stops heroes like Bat Rider being picked up as well, which is a hero that Moon plays a lot of.
Whatever happened, I know some teams had still thrown into the rotation, but the support Kunkka used to be a classic pairing with something like the Shadow Demon, might be able to help catch something as mobile and elusive as Ember Spirit. I mean, past couple tournaments it was a top-tier pick, but it's since fallen off.
You have a point for the X mark, but his ulti was really, really nerfed.
Yeah,
last
he got hit pretty hard by the frog. Yeah. So we might not be so much of the pirate here.
Let's talk about Pudge a bit. Like this hero,
that's a hero Misery
tremendously
plays.
Strong, and is. I guess he has also high win ratio as well. Misery can play it really good.
And with the new like pull camps around the tier 2 towers in the offlane, it's always very easy to get levels and farm and deny that farm.
What do you think about that? Some people are looking at that as kind of like a.
I don't like it.
Should that be allowed? That seems a bit too easy. A bit too easy to manipulate.
It's one of those things where one of the old patches, they had a camp that you could pull to the mid lane. Being able to do pulls behind tier 1 towers just seems like it shouldn't exist. You can't contest it. You can contest pulls between the two tier 1s because that's where the lane meets. But if it's behind towers, like there's nothing you can do to stop it. Pulls you should always be able to stop and contest.
Except do it yourself. And break even at that point, I guess. But here we go, moving forward. Digital Chaos, another popular pickup so far this tournament. The Lifestealer are going to be coming out. They're not afraid to also show their core, knowing full well what they're going to be going against here on the side of Secret. And then a Silencer comes out first of the tournament. Had been banned a couple of times yesterday, but this time he shows himself.
I really love the pick in the Silencer. Once the Ember goes in, and with Nyx Assassin they have a good initiation. He can just use the global and just they have a few seconds free to do whatever they want. And Silencer is like with new talent tree. He can just transition into semi-carry, carry late game.
Also good at shutting down maybe a Shadow Demon, let's say, who's trying to get in that clutch save. If you want to really make sure you get the isolation takedown of the Lifestealer or Invoker, he can be there to ensure it.
You have a free initiation.
Yeah. Go back to Digital Chaos side. You got to consider maybe BKB or Lotus or some way to deal with it. It's time to get out maybe your next support.
They need maybe a mech carry hero so he can switch to Guardian Greaves. Yeah. That's one point.
And if we're looking at that, then maybe the off lane could be something suitable here. A Moon Meander here. You used to play a lot of Tide Hunter.
Yeah.
Oh, great minds think alike, don't they?
The Darkseer is still there as well if they want to do some like Darkseer, Spirit Breaker type lane.
That's true.
Sand King. Not a Greaves here, but a Lotus Orb hero.
Yeah, it does help him a bit in the initiation department. Plus something for the Lifestealer to hop in, let's say.
This is a team that often gives Moon 1v1 matchups. I still wonder if they're going to try go for some kind of an aggro lane with a Shadow Demon Lifestealer plus some kind of like Leshrac or something to follow up a disruption.
Maybe they can do a tri-lane with Shadow Demon, Lifestealer and Sand King and still pick an off-lane hero. I mean, the hero who's going to be solo on the safe lane or on the off-lane.
Do have to be careful with that Silencer in game. You don't want to be getting shut down when you're trying to make that big team fight impact here. But we'll be moving into our final set of bans right now. Final potential support for the side of DC. Gonna have to get X'd out here. I mean, when you look at the lineup of Digital Chaos here, what does it look like they might be missing, like a hole in their game so far? We have decent team fight, of course, with the Sand King. You have fair tower pushing, of course, with the Lifestealer and the Invoker. They've ticked most of the boxes. I mean, you've got good lanes. Yeah, you've got a good initiator in the Sand King. You've got defensive save from the Shadow Demon Disruption as well. So probably just, I mean, they can really head a lot of different directions. Someone who can influence the lanes. I think they're looking for that high impact roaming type hero, the Pudge, the Spirit Breaker, something that can be just very influential for the first 5 to 10 minutes of the game. Maybe that's the Sand King if they're playing him as a support, but I think more likely we see Moon playing Sand King. This also seems like one of the first drafts that we're seeing a Rubik not get banned or picked too.
I'm surprised that DC didn't even ban or pick Rubik. I think it's either one of those for DC. They either ban it or pick it. But they had to go for, I mean, they went for Shadow Demon. Shadow Demon and the Rubik are not that strong of a combo together.
Well, they'll get rid of the Omni Knight here. Favoring it would have been a free BKB and obviously a way to sustain on DC.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like they need a mech carrier who can remove, maybe later on with Guardian Greaves, remove that silence. And just turn the fight around.
Pudge will get banned by DC on this one. Interesting.
Puppy also was playing quite a bit of the Pudge
himself,
going back,
Now we're looking for what seems to be possibly that Misery grab here. Someone to roam around and make an impact through the laning stage. We don't have access to the Earth Spirit here, but plenty of others who can fill that role. And Bounty Hunter is one of them. First appearance here at Dota Pit.
If you can see him.
If you can see him, yeah. I mean, he's not a Ricky at the end of the day, so. But now you have that way to kind of really snowball, too. If you're able to kind of make that early to mid-game impact, you get the track gold online and provides the vision for extra sun strikes and setups, and obviously will allow him to really build up the economy.
And it's a mech hero as well from the 4th position, so someone that can go into the greave. If you get enough track kills, you'll get some good farm. Ogre.
And then Ogre Magi comes out as the final grab for Team Secret here. So there is our full draft spread for both of these teams. Guys, take it in right now.
I must say I like Team Secret's pick a lot more. Like, it seems more complex, like they have pretty much everything.
They don't have the best save. Like, if someone gets initiated on, I mean, they've got the global silence, but that hero could die very fast. But their lanes are very strong. The Ogre matches up well against the Bounty Hunter. The Silencer gives them a great follow-up to any kind of Nyx or Ember initiation. So,
well, if Digital Chaos go on Silencer, for example, Sanking with Nyx in him and just insta-kill him, I think the team fight is going to be in favor of DC. So we'll see how it's going to work out.
Sounds fair. Let's go ahead and throw things over to our commentary team right now for our first game of our epic second series of Digital Chaos versus Team Secret. Your casters are going to be Odie Pixel and Merlini. Take it away, guys.
Thank you very much indeed, Dakota. We're ready here for this game 1 of this best of 3 series. Team Secret up against DC. A lot of interest in this matchup, and it's both teams really got a lot to prove. There's a lot on stake here, more than just the tournament position, but this matchup, it means everything for both sides, doesn't it, Ben?
It surely does. I'm looking at the start of the game, and Secret are actually very slow at getting outside of the base. No one TP'd out. They even had to buy the chicken, which took a few extra seconds. Normally this stuff is like instantaneous. Boom, you have chicken, you have 2 wards, you have 2 Plotangos, smoke, TP scroll, drop obs wards. This all happens within first 5 seconds of the game. But for Secret, it's all a little bit slow. They're just casually walking out, thinking about what items they want to buy.
Not popping down any of the ops.
Yeah, DC already have 2 set up. You can already tell that they just seem way more practiced at the very least.
Misery already getting into position to scout at the movement. We'll see that Pi has still got one of the wards in his hands.
They don't have any dust either on Team Secret. Just 1 pair of sentries split in between the Silencer and the Ember Spirit. So Bounty Hunter probably going to have a really easy time stealing bounty runes, sniping chickens perhaps. Let's see where he turns to.
Yeah, we'll see which lane Misery heads to. In terms of the lanes as it starts, it looks like both sides are going to keep stuff on the safe lane, just sending the off laners on their own to begin with. Do you like this? Is there someone that's going to have an easier laning stage out of the 2 drafts?
I think that Sand King should have a way easier time. I think Lifestealer is one of the best heroes at killing the Nyx Assassin. You want a hero that can get out of the deal with the Carapace very easily. Slark, Juggernaut, Lifestealer, the Magic Immunity heroes, very popular in this patch and for very good reason. Sand King, he's up versus a pretty short range hero in the Luna, and Puppey might have a difficult time zoning him out, especially with the Bounty Hunter coming in from the side.
Yeah, we'll see what Misery's plan is as he heads down to get a few eyes on this. Obviously, Puppey, very vulnerable on the Silencer, incredibly low armor. And Moon as well. Once he gets a couple of levels, they do have to be careful of the potential of this bottom lane at the moment. MP and Puppey just doing their best to harass back the Sand King. Mid lane, in fact, Secret going in pretty heavily onto Weehart, bringing him down low. Does have a salve. And mid one at the moment. 5 for 2 against the Invokers, 0 for 0. So this presence of Pylar and the Ogre causing a fair few issues for Weehart in the early stages.
It's not that big of a deal because he's Quaswex. Quaswex is so much easier to recover because you don't have to rely on any items to fight in the early game, and you have the Quas regen, so it makes things a lot easier. And you have Ghost Walk readily available to you, so it's a whole lot safer for him.
Yeah, Pi just incredibly aggressive with his stance here, wrapping around the tower, and at the moment, no kind of backup coming in for Weehart, as you said, because he can come back. Is that the best way for DC to play it? Just look to put their efforts elsewhere on the map?
Yeah, I think they're getting a lot out of their top lane. Shadow Demon's able to pull. I think more so they need to secure at least 2 of the bounty runes. And Bounty Hunter kind of running in. Ogre Magi is kind of getting sandwiched over here. If he stays in the river, he's going to be in a lot of trouble dealing with that cold snap. Tornado is not invoked yet, just EMP. Tornado dispels of Bloodlust too, so that's also quite annoying for Team Secret.
Yeah, Misery just keeping eyes out on the movement, and we'll be able to get the bounty rune here away from Puppey as he heads across this time. Misery getting the money. Mid lane, still the matchup mid 1 and Weehart 13 for 7. The lead's still there. Weehart struggling to get himself back into his early CS game. Bottom lane, Moon getting a few CS from the off lane. the two safe laners at the moment, MP 8 for 0 and a Resolution 15 for 6. So as you said, definitely seeming that DC are able to protect their safe laner and ensure that they get this early game farm just that little bit better at the moment against the enemy offlaner.
Yeah, I think Sinking's one of the better offlaners at the moment. He can apply pressure in most one-on-one situations, and especially when you deal with very low-range supports like the Ogre Magi, very low-range carry like the Luna, he can get away with so much with that caustic finale.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely feels at the moment it's Secret taking control of the mid lane, but in return they are sacking the success of their side lanes.
Yeah, the Ogre Magi was able to sweep the Dire Bounty Rune too, so Bounty Rune at 2 minutes went 2 for 2. Ember and Invoker are at the same level, so that's really good for Secret, but they're able to... Mid one's in a little bit of trouble. If he's not able to connect with the Tornado, he could potentially get him really low, at least force him to pop the Fairy Fire.
Do you imagine we're going to see kind of a rotation from Secret at all to do anything about the side lane situation? Or
I think there's always an inherent threat with the Bounty Hunter lineup. Like,
yeah.
If you don't show, every lane has to play a little bit differently. So I think things will get better, I think, especially come nighttime for the Dire side. Invoker feels very safe. Like, two melee heroes, like the Ogre and the Ember Spirit, can't really kill him, I would say, as long as he doesn't use his Tornado EMP frivolously.
For the time being as well, Pylight did head down to the bottom lane. Moon is going to head back, going to look to pick up the 4-minute rune. Well, looks a bit with this movement and Misery. So just keeping eyes on the progression of Kezu now, as he's headed away from the lane. Misery will be able to again take these bounty runes away from Secret. He managed to do it bottom against Puppey, ends up doing it here against Kezu. But the bounty hunter staying true to his name here in the early game.
Yep, not the kind of bounty that he wants though. No kills yet. And things could change. Shadow Demon and Bounty Hunter probably pressuring the... Oh, he's in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, straight away with the EMP. Mid one looks to Slight Fist duke it out, but he may still be in trouble with Misery coming around with the wraparound. There's the kill he was looking for. Misery to kick the game off, getting himself first blood on the map for DC.
That was a very nice Slight. Normally you'll see like 302 or 203 on the Ember Spirit, but the one level of sight allowed him to dodge the EMP, which would have been a fair amount of damage. It also slows down the Invoker because he doesn't get the mana back from that mana drain, so he's kind of limited in his spell choice at the moment. He can't even combo EMP and Cold Snap.
Misery and Saxa ready to look to move across for even more. They do have the sentry down. They'll see Misery come across. Puppey immediately with the curse with the Lucent Beam. Is it going to be enough control? That's the question. Saxa has a defensive disruption. Misery tries to get himself out of range, but the dust is out. Misery's down. Moon coming across, looking to help his team, but Saxa is going to fall as well. This time it's Secret coming out on top. They've taken two. Puppey will just about survive as he gets himself away, and this time it's DC just getting a little too over-aggressive, and the vision game paying off for Secret.
I'm not exactly sure what Moon was waiting for. There was at least a two-man stun available to him, and definitely could have gotten a silencer kill. Maybe he was worried about giving up his own life there, but I think that DC expected some sort of help from him aside from the right clicks and the caustic.
Now Saxa, again, ready to come back round to mid as soon as he's back up. Looking for the setup onto mid one. To close the gap with the EMP. Cold Snap, but again, mid one. He's just juking it out each and every time with the Sleight of Fist. Tries to turn. In fact, does manage to root Wee under the tower, but it looks like, has he got enough damage with these tower hits? It's going to be bringing Weehar low. Not quite low enough. Weehar will salve up, get the tower aggro off him, and both mid laners will be able to keep themselves alive.
They don't have that much time to go on the Ember Spirit because of him being level 6 very, very soon. He's just one creep away. And it makes it really easy to slight when there's additional units from the disruption, so that's not particularly working in Digital Chaos's favor at the moment. I really do like that one level of slight though. It's something that you don't see very often, but it seems like he's played this matchup many, many times.
Invoker is catching back up. And of course, Resolution continuing to sit firmly at the top of the farm board. A 50-24. Perfect CS pretty much at the moment. Bottom lane, DC aren't going to be in trouble. He gets the burrow strike out. No sort of silence to kick in beforehand. And Moon will be able to walk it off. So again, Puppey and Pilot die with that movement. Unable to find the kill. At the least, still just keeping this lane safe for Luna.
She's going to feel a lot more threatened once Bounty Hunter hits level 6. You have to worry about the Infest Bomb with those two. Like, Global Silence is going to save you if he just quickly pops Windwalk and then pops his Shuriken and then Life Stealer pops Open Wounds and Rage. This can all happen in like under half a second, and there's very little chance the Silencer or the Luna can actually react to that unless you have like a Force Staff. But I can foresee them putting a lot of pressure on the Luna, and it looks like they perhaps want to get tracked for that.
Again, we are seeing these attempts onto the Sand King, but it's pretty hard to do so. We were seeing with the Silence that Puppey's trying to make something happen, but it's very hard. You know, he kind of just lays down the curse, but of course, just because it silences after the use of the spell, he's always able to burrow strike away.
And he has the Raindrop, so he built very defensively in this lane. He has 9 stick charges, Tranquils, and Raindrop, so it's going to take a lot to kill him. They see mid one doing some of the neutrals, perhaps trying to get Nyx Assassin to level 6 in the mid lane, and things might start to heat up soon as Track is online just in a couple of minutes, and Vendetta is up in just a little bit. But DC already prepared. They have sentries in the mid lane, more likely than not to cover the Bounty Hunter's tracks earlier, but now it will serve dual purpose as they can figure out where Nyx is going to be.
Came for kind of a sweep there for his own jungle, maybe just seeing if they could catch out the Bounty Hunter of sorts. At top lane, this space has been given to Rezo and Saxon to start applying pressure to the tower. Kezu coming back across, and now TP in from Pilot Die, looking to ward DC away from their tier 1. And they will do so, but Misery, he gets the courier snipe and he gets himself out. So Misery continuing to be very annoying for the side of Secret, stealing bounty runes, taking first blood, and getting a courier kill. All in all, these early stages of the game, I'm 3 for 1, but the farm's certainly looking very good for some of DC's cores. Feels fairly even to you, Ben, or do you feel that someone is having the better time?
I think they really need the Global Silence on Silencer. I think once he hits that, Secret's teamfight is going to be a lot better, but DC have a lot more map presence with the Bounty Hunter and the Life Stealer. I think it depends a lot on what the Bounty Hunter can do, who he can scout out, if they can avoid the Nyx ganks, how many track kills they get, if they can like continue to pressure in between Global Silence cooldowns. It's all up in the air.
And Misery again coming across. They do have a good amount of sentry coverage in their own jungle here, Secret. Misery will get down an obs. Again, taking another bounty rune from the side. MP was heading over, seeing if he was able to grab it himself, but it's not going to be the case, so ended up being wasted time for the Luna on his travels. On top lane, once again, the creep wave comes through. Resolution and Saxon remaining adamant with this push onto this top. Kezu still trying to do his best to draw the aggro, the creeps back around from it, but maybe has to be a bit careful himself if Misery decides to head over. Gets down another good ward. They've got some very nice deep ward coverage here over Secret's half of the map, DC. Making it a little safer for Misery to make these sort of movements.
I really like how Kezu pre-aimed this. There was a line drawn from Puppey from mid to top lane, knowing that Bounty Hunter was going to go there, track him, and they would just straight up kill the next assassin. But if he's pre-invis, there's no way that they can actually scout him out, at least not under the tower.
Puppey's found him here. The smoke will be a spell on Puppey, and in reaction, immediately Dustin, he's caught out Misery, and with the help of Mid1 and Pi, they'll take down the Bounty Hunter. So good movement. They'll get the deny in the tower as well. Nice bit of play there from Secret.
Yeah, it's a really good read, knowing exactly what the Bounty Hunter is going to do. That kill would have put him to 6 too, so that was very important. They actually avoided the kill, got the kill on the Bounty Hunter, and ended up denying the tower. However, it is still a tower fallen for them, and DC, I would say, don't really have the better pushing lineup, not with the Luna's early game potential. I don't see a creep from her yet. She's held the Helmet Dominator in her stash for a pretty long time, so this chicken snipe is actually severely impairing the Luna's growth. She could have probably stacked Ancients, I think, twice now, or, you know, pressured some of the lanes, got a few more CS with that Helmet Dominator.
Bottom lane, Weeha pushing in, standing his ground. Has he stayed across a little too long? Maybe. The routes onto 2. Weeha turns around with a tornado, knocks them back. Moon's there as well to help out, kicking up the epicenter, ready to go in, and immediately onto the other spirit, bringing him down low. Mid one, he's out. They've found one. Kezu comes out of the vendetta. They're looking to try and punish DC in return, and they will find one kill, but Resolution's turned up. DC in full force. They pick up a second. Misery will tick down to the curse of Puppey. 2 for 2. High will TP away successfully. Puppey hiding in the trees. Has no TP. Fair bit of money on him as well. He starts to spend out. It looks like they won't come hunting for him, so Puppey will live to tell the tale, and the TP is getting sent their way out of him. What do you think about this as well, Puppey? Going for the Helm of the Dominator on Silencer.
I'm not exactly sure which creep he's going to get on it. Like, none of the creeps seem particularly good, but it is a pretty decent support item. Like, they already have one from the Luna, so if they wanted Frost Armor to deal with the Life Stealer, if they want to like Purge to deal with the Track, they would already have that available to them. So I'm a little curious to see what he's going to do with that. I haven't seen this from support silencers.
Bottom lane, Moon and Resolution finding mid one, but immediately reminiscing away. Will be safe. Not quite enough burst there through that initial jump to take him down. That's something that Secret do definitely have to be careful about, this potential jump in. Mid lane, Kezu looking to set up, but a nice sentry from Saxa will make sure that Kezu isn't able to find anything. In fact, he may be in trouble himself. There's going to be the jump in from Moon, but there's a backup. Mid one and Pi coming. They look to punish Moon. Moon stays alive. Surely he doesn't get out of this one, and he won't. The tower will take him out. They did get the kill onto Kezu though, so both offlaners losing their life there in that mid lane skirmish. And Resolution actually wrapping around from behind. Looks like he won't go in though. Already his teammates backing up, keeping themselves away from the mid. Whereas Secret, they do have a pretty strong 3-man standing there at the moment.
There's no way they can actually catch out the Life Stealer unless he doesn't have Rage Up. But he can Rage out of, I would say, anything that they can throw at him, aside from Global Silence, which was just used in the last engagement. It is up in a few seconds, but Nyx Assassin is kind of nowhere to be found. He's their main initiation, unless they can coordinate like an Ember jump in with a Global Silence. But right now there's not really any good targets. Sand King they don't really want to all in on because he just has his Blink Dagger already. Life Stealer is just a very difficult target to kill, and no one else is really showing in a vulnerable position. So looks like they're trying to wrap around on mid. MP finally has his Helm of Dominator. Ember almost popped the smoke with that Remnant. And
Moons was dispelled. Can they get the jump? Resolution just revealing himself in the mid as Moon will jump in immediately. Puppey there with the reactive Global Silence. They'll look to turn towards Resolution, but as you said, not a lot they can do to take him down. Puppey will actually end up finishing off the Shadow Demon there with the curse. So they do get themselves one of the kills, and they do manage to keep mid one alive. And well, I was just seeing how powerful that Global Silence is in reaction to DC trying to make a jump on someone.
Yeah, they did save the Ember's life, and they did get a Shadow Demon kill out of it. I think it's a really good time for DC to pressure with the Global Silence off cooldown on cooldown for 100 seconds. And Sentry War going on in mid, we will clean it up. Wee's actually getting pretty farmed too. He will have a tool to deal with the Global Silence in the form of the Yules. I'm curious to see what the other people are going to go for. Usually you'll see Greaves, one hero with Greaves, one hero is Lotus, a couple of Yules perhaps, Manta, BKB are all common options. I'm not sure if Lifestealer is going to opt for anything different because he should be tanky enough to withstand any sort of attack. So this is the trade-off with using the Global Silence. Is it really worth it for them? I would say DC got the better end of the trade with that use of the Global Silence because they're able to sweep down all of these T1 towers and severely limit the ability of Secret not only to farm but to cover their base with Sentry Wards to prevent the Bounty Hunter from doing whatever he wants.
I'm talking about the Bounty Hunter moving across with the Life Stealer inside in Misery and Resolution, looking to get some work done.
They're looking for the heroes behind. Puppey is not in the fog. He is prime target.
He really is. There's not a lot he can do to escape being jumped on by the two of them. And of course, this is what they find in Puppey. He's actually going to be able to find the SD again. Saxa out of position. Misery, does he still want to try and make a go on this with Resolution? They're looking for Puppey to be soloed out and move out to the side. Puppey, can he survive through this? With the helm, he's fairly tanky. And in fact, Puppey, he's going to live. No. Moon will there be there to finish off the job. But the question is, how much can they pay for it? MP pops the Eclipse. They turn towards Resolution. A huge kill for Secret. Can they get any more? Moon already backing away. Sentries down. They've caught out Misery. Mid one jumps across to make sure Secret get another double kill for MP. And Secret finding a very, very good trade. And, I mean, we're seeing that helm pay off. They didn't burst down the silo immediately because of that regen, Ben.
He had that little bit of extra move speed, too, from that Kobold. Secret are just slightly better with their movements right now, slightly quicker than DC. If they were there, like, maybe 2-3 seconds earlier, I think they could have just popped the silencer, and then Shadow Demon also wouldn't have died because solo Nyx Assassin would have a lot of trouble killing that Shadow Demon. So DC just missed that gank and that tower defend by a couple of seconds, but you know, there were only three people there for them: Sand King, the Bounty Hunter, and Lifestealer. After the Shadow Demon died, Invoker just prioritizing farming up his items and just getting huge in the meantime. He is still not even close to #1 on net worth. Luna and shortly behind is the Lifestealer.
Now we've seen MP just balance really nicely the combination of farming and turning up to these fights.
And Nyx has actually gone for a max spiked carry pace build, not even the 1 point in the mana burn. It did really work well versus the Lifestealer. He was stunned for what seemed like ages. Combine that with the Eclipse at the end.
Oh, again, another courier death here on the side of the Radiant. DC, you have to pick it off time and time again.
And let's see if Puppy still sticks with the Kobold format. I think the Kobold format is actually pretty nice. It's kind of like having your own track in terms of move speed.
Yeah, for sure, 12%. Certainly pays off when you're trying to kite off these heroes running at you like the Lifestealer.
Yeah, and there's a fair amount of slows too. Caustic Slow, Open Wounds, Demonic Purge, Ice Wall.
Mid one again. Sleight of Fist duking the Tornado. It's paying off. You know, we do talk about kind of this Invoker build being the counter to the Invoker, but as long as you've got fast fingers and good timing, you can still play around it as the Ember.
Another thing that he does is he doesn't use his Flame Guard as soon as he goes into a fight. He uses it after Tornado comes. So that's also another way to deal with it, because Invoker is generally going to have Tornado you because it's one of the best counter initiation spells in the game. Well, Kezu kind of wrapping around the back. Saksa is invis unbeknownst to Kezu. Kezu maybe thinking about comboing with Global, but they don't have any teammates nearby. MP is out on his lonesome. They actually scan behind to know that he's alone. This could be a really trying time for MP.
Who's going to find who here? You've got DC wrapping around. They are going to be the ones to try and make an opening, but immediately the Global Silence in return. DC, they have to back off. They can't go for MP. Kezu catching out Weehar with the stun, but he needs the follow-up. Pai's on his way over, but Rezo turns immediately in onto Kezu, chopping him down low. MP with the damage has already ripped through the Shadow Demon Resolution, focusing the Ogre with the track gold as well. They're going to start to rack it up. Double kill for Rezo. DC knocking down 3 of Secret. Only mid one and MP to survive. They can't take trades like that, Secret, at this point of the game where track kills coming into play and more money going into Resolution's pocket. And thanks to that fight, pretty much putting him back on level with the farm of MP's Luna.
I think the Nyx Assassin was just slightly too far out there. He went on the Invoker, but no one was around. He just got tracked up and killed. If Secret could have possibly pulled back to the Shrine or fought around the Luna and her Eclipse, then I think it would have been a much better fight for Secret, but there was just no teamwork in that. They had the Global Silence to save the Luna, but aside from that, it was just death and destruction everywhere. I like Moon's build too. He went for a hood, so he can actually stay in the fight. A lot of times you'll see Sand Kings, they burrow strike in, just sit in Sandstorm and kind of wait around for their next burrow strike cooldown, but I think this Sand King wants to be a lot more involved. Like, he can just straight tank this and not really care, apply Caustic to as many people as he wants to, and just free up space for the Invoker and the Lifestealer.
They're trying their best to hammer into Moon, but as you mentioned, with this hood, can he actually survive? That's the question. He will be able to burrow strike away. He'll live for the moment being. They try and jump forward with the Ember Spirit. They will be held back by the Yule Scepter. Turns his attention towards Saxa. Puppy and Pi are in the neighborhood as well. Resolution turning up and with a good stun from Moon. They might even just be able to kill him if one. He has one more remnant down to the low ground. Will get himself away. Weehar, he's going to look to chase it down, and with the cold snap, Weehar gets it, takes down the Ember. Puppy trying to turn to Wee, but Wee, he's got friends. Moon and Rezo in on Puppy. Puppy's out as well. DC punishing Secret heavily for that play. Again, is this risky point of the map, trying to dive for kills around that Shrine bed.
This is why I really like Moon as an offlaner. He's like not afraid to die for his team or make plays like that. A lot of the offlaners play very, very safely in the team fight, just go for double, triple impales. But the way that Moon plays, he just totally lured Secret to a terrible place. You're fighting right below the shrine, and he didn't even pop his hood until he was at 300 HP. So
Secret.
He forced Emperor to go in
They
way
want
too
to
deep.
contest this, maybe Kezu. He's spotting it out. There's a sentry here. Can they make the jump? Puppey does have the global silence. They'll move him. Roshan's out, but Weehar's already picked up the Aegis. They'll get the objective. Secret still wanting to fight, though. Good stun onto Saxa. That'll be one down. They pop the Eclipse, but already DC are out of there. Moon just playing around on the sidelines. He's going to be fine as he blinks away. So DC get the Roche kill. They get the Aegis. And all they lose is Saxa, which is unfortunate for the Shadow Demon. But Saxa, he's kind of been taken one for the team so far this game. Has died 5 times, but
luckily
absolutely worth it.
Yeah, he's an in-hero, so he doesn't have troubles with the mana. The saddest thing is when you're like a Pudge or some hero with not that great of a mana pool, and
you're losing the intelligence.
It's okay if he takes one for the team. He has Arcane Boots and Stick, so he can die a lot more times before he's starved.
For sure, Puppey. Still a fair bit at the moment, 18, not bad at all, and now opting to have the Alpha Wolf chase him around, so that's got that extra bit of punch on the silencer.
Maybe he wants to transition to a carry build later.
It looks like phase boost and helm.
I think he's thinking too far into the game, though. At what point are you actually going to be able to do a ton of damage without?
And immediately coming in with the upset, but it's not enough damage here. Okay, looks like it is. The Alpha Wolf, it will pop him. The question is if they could punish Moon. The silence kicks him from the curse. Twilight Eye turning up as well. They're keeping him under the tower. The hood, though, isn't quite enough. I mean, the hood certainly makes them work for it.
That Arcane Rune made it so easy for him. He was almost permanently rooted. Well, yeah, the thing about Silencer, though, is he doesn't match up that well versus the Lifestealer in the later game, because Lifestealer has Rage, and that's most of your damage is from the pure damage from the Glaives of Wisdom. Puppey is stealing a lot of intel. I would say 18 is quite a fair amount for a Silencer in this phase of the game. But once he gets Dragonlance and the 25 talent, 200 attack range, he is actually crazy in terms of his attack range. But I don't know if they'll get there. And they have a Luna, who I think will just easily outscale the Silencer.
Bottom lane, Resolution and Misery coming out with the Lifestealer bomb. We'll take down one, but Secret, they want to punish. Immediately getting the chains onto Misery. They'll take down the Bounty Hunter. Finding the 1-for-1 trade there down on the bottom. Saxa, they can just set up for more with Resolution coming back in. Onto MP as well, and MP just melts there. The power, again, I mean, it's this Shadow Demon with the Soul Catcher, Demonic Purge, and getting those Lunar Illusions back on MP.
And look at where he is. He's right outside of his T3 tower with 3 or 4 teammates behind him. And
they couldn't do anything.
They really couldn't. This is... They banned the Dazzle. They took the Shadow Demon. There's not many good heroes. They banned the Omni Knight themselves. Luna is just dead to rights in that sort of situation. And what item are you going to get to help you from that? BKB, I suppose. But Lifestealer will still just chew through your BKB in the middle of a team fight, especially if you have Soul Catcher on.
DC to settle down and split back up after putting that pressure on and getting that big Luna kill. Feeling very confident with the position that they're in so far this game. They are starting to get a significant lead, reaching close to the 10,000 mark at this point.
Yes, they are. Track Gold kind of at play here. Secret are ahead in kills, but a lot of them have been on poor Saxa.
And Kezi, 1600 towards his Blink Dagger, eyeing up some action on this top lane. Has a sentry down himself, so can feel fairly safe on this one. Interesting from Weehar as well. FaZe, Aghanim's yours, and opting for the BKB here, so ready to turn full force to the fights, I guess, with that build. And not feel too scared. Once again, though, Misery able to snipe the courier. Looks like they will punish him for it. I think it's pretty much the third time he's been able to find it this game.
And they still get a tower despite losing one of their heroes. Wee is out in front.
Secret want to find something mid-1. Gets the lockdown on to weaken his players way out of this one. He has the Yule set to Global. Coming through, trying to back up, but Kezi with a good stun holds Wii in place. They'll take him down once. They were also able to find Saxa on the sidelines. Resolution coming across with Moon as well with a huge episode in the middle of it all, but the Eclipse from MP shreds through Weehar. Moon to fall as well, and only Resolution able to get himself up to the high ground, but the chase isn't over. Secret continuing to move in, looking for the Lifestealer as well, and they may just find it. Mid-1 in immediately with the chains. Resolution surrounded, and Secret team wiping DC there.
DC bit off way more than they could chew. They got the T2, and they should have been pretty happy with that, but for some reason they started beating on the Shrine. The Shrine's also still active, and they got like a couple of hits in, and they're like, wait, what are we doing here? This is terrible for us. We don't have all 5 of our people. Invoker doesn't have a BKB yet, so he just got destroyed by the Eclipse, and Secret were just 5 strong and just crushed them.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Puppey now 28 stolen intelligence. Looking very good for himself. Has a 4-staff complete as well, thanks to that. Again, though, look at these illusions. Saxa gets them out, nearly shredding through Pylight Eye, but it's going to be Saxa that's in trouble again. Mid one just jumping to the back lines, taking down the Shadow Demon.
Dire's middle tower
Ensuring that Secret can get a good bit of damage done to this tier 2. They'll start to back off now, though, with Weeha and Resolution just about to respawn. 21 to 14. We'll have a look at the graph. I imagine we'll see a little bit of a swing, and indeed, off the back of that fight, really starting to kick in. Secret managing to start to grab a hold back of this game.
At the same time, DC are looking for ways to deal with that global silence. We have the Greaves up on the Bounty Hunter. We have a Lotus Orb up on the Sand King, and the BKB very close to being picked up by the Invoker. So that's 3 heroes, and they can easily save the lifesteal, let's say, Lotus Orb into Rage, and they don't have the physical damage to really burst through the Rage right now, especially with armor toggled on. So might need to look for some other ways to deal with the team fight. Last fight was a ton of magic damage with the Silencer and the Luna kind of being the big team fight ultimates that carry them through that fight, but they're going to start to need Luna to have her Butterfly and other items very soon. But luckily for them, Luna's way on top of the net worth.
Absolutely is off the back of those last few fights. MP having a fantastic performance so far. 9 for 2 for 9, 20 minutes in, 240 CS. Has just been no downtime at all for this Luna. Consistently in the places that he needs to be. Kezu ready to set up for a bit of scouting here towards the top. Has the backup of Puppey and Pi. Can they actually make a go? And well, the question is, they shouldn't want to. There's a lot of backup here for DC. Secret, oh no, caught out, but Kezu is there with the response. Mid one jumps forward. Global holds the back, but Weeha with the newly found BKB pops it, and he's ready to fight. Turns towards Puppey, tracked up, but Puppey forces himself away. Will survive for the time being. Moon jumping forward, trying to chase him down, but the series change from Mid one. Hold back the Sand King. Secret just collapsing onto him. Moon's out, and Mid one's not done. Jumps forward towards Saxa. The change there once more. Sleight of fist to take down another. It's a double kill for Mid one. And DC, they have to question how close they stick around to this fight. They need to get themselves out of the last 3 of them, and they're not going to be given that option. Mid one jumps forward again with the chains, allowing MP to close the gap. Weeha immediately Ghost walks out, has Resolution inside him. Looks like he will be the safe vessel to get him back to safety. But again, these fights, I mean, it looks like Secret walking through with 3, but Mid one, he just appears out of nowhere each and every time. We're talking about MP's performance, but Mid one in terms of just setting up the fight, just making sure that one kill, it just spirals into a second and into a third.
He's really quick about the slight chains too. He likes to get the Sand King. Sand King's the most vulnerable hero because he doesn't actually have a Yules. Yules is the most common pickup for the Sand King to deal with the chains. You can't burrow strike out of it, so he's just a sitting duck at that point. And he already used a Lotus Orb to deal with the global silence. So I do really like Mid one's play. He's always at the edge, but always close enough to get the slight chains on multiple heroes. And he's also farming well despite Luna taking up a lot of farm on the map. Not that that's a bad thing, but it's more impressive that he's able to keep this up.
Misery could be in trouble. They draw up a sentry. They didn't actually have any dust on them. It was just the sentry ward, so no way of chasing him deeper down the tower, so Misery will be fine. Moon putting pressure in on the mid lane. Bottom lane, you have Resolution feeling confident to farm down, and because of the reveal of heroes up on the top.
Roshan is up very, very soon, and Secret have way stronger team fight, as demonstrated by the last 2. They just destroy them with the Ember Spirit, Sleight of Fist, Searing Chains. They're pretty much getting kills every single one of those cooldowns. And Ember Spirit actually takes different talents than normal. Normally you'll see the all stats. Oh man.
Throwing them out, Ember Spirit.
Yep.
Jumped in the middle of the base. Resolution will TP out, but Moon, he is going to pay for that one, but I think he'll be saying absolutely worth knocking down Mid one for a full minute, and getting a tasty bit of money as well, as we can see Moon getting money. Did he manage to spend it before he went down there? Doesn't look like he did. No, so he did lose a chunk of it.
So Ember took 8 armor, which is pretty surprising. Normally you'll get the cooldown reduction because it synergizes way better with like Blade Mail
and
true, isn't it? Chains, but I think he's scared about just dying to lifesteal. I think that's they don't really have that much magic damage that can kill him. Just pretty much the epicenter, which really hasn't proven to be that big of a problem in the team fights thus far. But it's cool to see the 8 armor being picked up now and then. 8 armor is a lot, especially combined with the Veil. Quite tanky.
Well, up towards top, Misery with the gem now, ready to continue to get that control of the map. Mid lane resolution being slightly eyed up by MP, who's very, very close to having the completed Skadi. Still with an insane amount of farm at this point of the game, 31 minutes in, and a comfortable 3k ahead of Weeha. And of course, that's an Invoker with a Midas. MP as well, looking to get even further ahead as they head into the Roshan pit. DC, we'll see if they're aware of this. They've got the ward here, so they'll see Kezu sitting just outside of it all. So maybe aware indeed, but at the same time, Secret do scan it out. They know that DC is nearby in the neighborhood. Question is who's going to get the jump on who first. Can DC stop Secret getting away with this? MP already bringing it down incredibly low with the help of Pi, who has that solar crest. And MP, he will get the Roshan, will take the Aegis. DC just not feeling confident enough to jump in and try and contest it, Ben.
Well, the double HOD actually working out pretty well for them. That they didn't even really take any damage on the Luna. They just had the HOD creep tank it. And also, I really like the Luna's position inside the pit. Like, he's not deep inside the pit. He can easily escape without using BKB if he wants to. He's sitting right at the edge, pretty much the furthest away you can stand from Roche, and still be able to attack.
I'll take your never refuse.
Interesting as well, yeah, Puppy, as you talked about, kind of going for this core, but he's getting a lot of farm. He's on par with what Kezu has. He's got Phase, Force, Helm, and now has the money for the completed Rod of Atos. He's not doing too bad for himself at all, man.
He has a lot of HP too. 2,000 is very difficult for some of the heroes to deal with. Like, Lifestealer is going to have a lot of issues because of the Force Staff, and like he doesn't really have that much help in terms of damage. Invoker isn't able to really output as much damage as DC would like in these team fights. Shadow Demon's constantly been dying too. I think he mostly gets the disruption on the Luna, but it doesn't seem like that's enough for them to actually win any of the team fights. Bounty Hunter really doesn't do that much damage, so it's pretty much all Life Steal and Invoker with Sinking there to set up.
DC, not to be deterred by the fact that Secret have the Aegis on their hands, as they immediately shove in on the bottom lane, force out the fortification, start to back off. There's going to be the catch though, immediately in with the chains. They'll force Resolution closer to them there, and can they finish him off? That's the question. The Lotus Orb has been laid down onto him. Doesn't look like they have enough damage. There'll be the Rod of Atos, but a defensive destruction from Saxa, trying to save Frezzo. He'll turn towards MP, but MP pops the BKB, tries to man up a Sun Strike. It's going to be duked off. MP heads out away from it. They get the stun onto Misery. Misery will be taken down. The rest of DC will escape, so Misery this time sort of taking one for the team, as they will get everyone else out of there. Got a bit of damage done, but still, as we're seeing, Secret's hold is very, very scary and very, very hard for DC to get too much done and just to find a kill in return. They've just got to kind of tuck their tails and run at each time that MP and Mid-1 turn up to the fights at this point of the game because of the lead that their cores have.
And Gem lost on top of that. The Lifestealer has been kited extremely well in these fights. And I think he was silenced for a good 10 seconds, perhaps. Only the defensive disruption was able to save him. Allowed him to pop his rage, but Luna way too strong now for him to fight toe-to-toe. Maybe a couple lucky bashes, and perhaps, but even then he has Aegis, and everyone would have just swooped in. Ember Spirit's been in little to no pressure in these fights, I would say. He's kind of free to do whatever he wants, and he's getting to that point where he is just going to be able to do incredible amounts of damage and just not controlled at all. There is no Orchid on the Invoker. Normally you'll see the Crosswex Invoker transition to Orchid. So this
he's working straight for the Hex, but he's still got a bit of a way to go for it.
It frees up the Ember Spirit to do a lot more when he doesn't have to worry about any silences. There are 0 silences on Dire side.
Secret heading over, has been scanned out by the Dire, but still just the range that Mid-1 can have in terms of initiation, jumping past the tower. Again, poor old Saxa taken down, and Secret now in prime position to push up to the high ground. MP being backed up by the Solar Crest of Pi, still has that Aegis as well. What can DC do to stop this? They're a man down for 30 seconds. Fortification He's going to stop a little bit of the damage, but now Moon trying his best to buy time for the team, jumping in with the burrow strike, but MP just continues to sit there, still has the Aegis, still has the BKB, not a lot that he needs to be scared of, as he mans up, looks to take it down mid one, again jumping in off the backliners, Puppy's there with the global silence, there'll be a Yules to hold mid one up in place, and he's fine because Secret have found the space to clear out the mid melee racks. They back off, and we're just seeing how DC are struggling to punish the plays of Secret. Secret just have the game plan down, and DC, I mean, what's their answer, Ben? How do they punish this kind of movement of this play from Secret? Which it feels like Secret could just go for this down another lane, and DC still, they need that Hex, as you said, they need that lockdown, they need an answer to these cores of Secret.
They need the Invoker to be ridiculously strong in these team fights. I haven't really felt him do that much in many of these team fights. Deathling Blast isn't really working out for them. The Tornado EMP is pretty underwhelming. He has max exort now, so he can drop some meteors, but I think it's more so Secret have way more AoE control too. Nyx can stun multiple people at once. Luna's hitting everyone with her glaives. They all have to run at the sight of an eclipse. Whereas DC, it's all a lot of single target, which means 4 staff's going to be extremely useful, and they have 2 of them up right now. And under the strength of the Aegis, there is just very little stopping Secret. But Aegis is about to expire just about 5 seconds time, and perhaps DC can look to make a move. They need to get a kill on one of these important cores, Ember Spirit or Luna in particular. Nyx Assassin I don't think is really going to cut it for them, but Nyx Assassin is going to have Ags and about 2,000 gold, so now they have to start worrying about that.
Yeah, a lot of things that need to be on the minds of DC. Aegis has now timed out for MP, so that's a little bit of good news for DC. They need to see if they can try and do something with it. Weehard desperately trying to race his farm towards getting that Hex complete resolution as well, trying to do his best to keep up with the pace of MP's farm. Looking straight towards getting the full-out Miona done next.
Luna also took the Lucent Beam damage and the armor. They actually built quite differently than normal in terms of the talent trees. 40 Lucent Beam is not that much, but added up over Eclipse, and if they're not focusing you really, and you don't need the health, I guess health might not be the best thing versus the Life Stealer too, because of Feast.
Yeah, I guess attack speed wise, you've got a lot of sources of that anyway with the Bloodlust.
Especially Bloodlust. And Nyx Assassin too also went very defensive. 175 health and 10 strength. I think 175 health is standard, but 10 strength versus 25 agility is, gold wise, it's a no-brainer, but in terms of actual utility, him having more agility is a little bit more armor, so it wouldn't be that bad for him, but 10 strength he deems more valuable.
Interesting decisions here from Secret. DC with a smoke up. We're inside the jungle of Secrets, but Secret just standing tall on their high ground, making sure that they're not caught out. MP very close to his next big item, Butterfly, round the corner. And of course at this stage of the game, we're not going to be seeing an MKB or any sort of blood form around the corner anytime soon, so the evasion going to be absolutely massive for this Luna. That's already incredibly stacked.
And they've been doing a really good job of keeping track of the Shadow Demon and preventing him from just mass spamming the disruption on the Luna. She doesn't have to build a link into this game, and she probably feels pretty great about not having to do that and not have to worry about the Shadow Demon, because mid one is protecting MP so well.
And this time Secret with a smoke of their own, heading over to the east side of DC's jungle. And we'll see how far they want to go through with the sweep around. Kezu and mid one leading the way, but being a little hesitant. They'll see the TP through from Wii onto the mid lane.
They have to fight around sentries. They don't have a gem on themselves, so Moon could be walking into a trap if he's not very careful. And he has no idea. Nyx could be right on top of him right now, and he wouldn't know.
And Kezu's ready to come back in. Once again with the Vendetta. Looking to get some vision for the team. MP pushing in onto the tier 2. There'll actually be the use of the fortification here from DC. There's the jump in from mid one immediately in return. Coming through the burrow strike, mid one getting focused out, but he's forced back, and now MP, Kezu and Puppy turn up. Turn towards Misery. Misery taken down. Weehar's coming in from the sideline with the wraparound. The Tornado Deafening Blast combo not quite enough to bring down any of the members of Secret. Again, DC just have to kind of throw their spells in, back off Weehar. Can he get himself back in? They've got the setup onto MP. Look at the illusions go with Moon jumping in with the epicenter. Again, it's not quite enough. They'll be able to force back the Luna. MP just surviving again in time. I think it's both kind of Puppey and Kezu with these 4-star plays, saving the teammates. It is going to mean that Puppey himself hasn't got the 4-star to save him. So DC now starting to find some kills on the come around. Look towards Pylight Die, they'll take down a second. So they will get the 2 supports as Secret. So this time DC, pretty much seems like the first time in a few team fights, able to kick back and do some damage themselves.
We did a good job of splitting Secret's focus. Like, they were focused on maybe pushing down that hill, going up to the T3 and on those heroes over there, but with him coming in on the left side, they were actually in a strange position. Like, half of them were going left, half of them were going right, and then they almost picked out the Luna with the epicenter of the Sand King. That would have been really big for them, but the Force Staffs proved to be a continuous thorn in DC's side.
Blessings upon a loyal
Absolutely,
warrior.
just saving each other left and right. Good opening for DC though. Immediately into the pit. Secret still with 2 members down. Even if Puppey was up, there's no global silence. So great time for DC to go in. Are Secret going to want to try and do anything about this? I mean, that's
they don't
the
have
question.
a shrine. There's no shrine there, so it's very difficult.
Yeah.
And Moon is walking around making sure that there is no smoke shenanigans going on here.
Can mid one? Can he go for a play now? It's going to be too late. Resolution able to grab himself the Aegis. Cheese still on the floor. He'll take that as well. So DC starting to get some key objectives complete. Aghanim's done for Moon. Maelstrom done for the Lifestealer. And overall, if we have a look at the net worth graph, we indeed are starting to see it swing back around once again. DC did have the lead out coming out the lane stage into the mid game. Secret were able to recover a fair bit, but now it's getting back close to the even point. In a very close game indeed. 27-17, 42 minutes between DC and Secret. Still could go both ways, man.
Mjolnir on Lifesteal is an interesting choice. Normally you'll see the AC at this point, but I think he's realizing that he just cannot do that much damage. He can't get MKB right now just because he's kind of slot starved. He also doesn't have the money to deal with the Butterfly. So instead he's going to try and do as much damage as he can by tanking up with Rage and perhaps Mjolniring himself.
Moon finding mid one immediately looking to Remnant Juke away from Resolution. So they won't get the catch, and Puppey actually popping the global silence as well, trying to save him. Resolution just continues to move forward. Looking towards Puppey, but Puppey slides down to the right. There's the burst strike for Moon, catching out Puppey. Resolution trying to close the gap, but the Purge creep there slowing down Resolution, so he can't close the gap. MP now turns towards him. Resolution, he can't quite get Puppey. They're constantly slowing down. Finally comes forward, but Kezu's there, saving Puppey with the stun. Puppey turns back around. Sunstrike isn't going to catch MP. He's forced out of the way. Resolution to fall. Aegis hits the ground. Weehar's out as well. MP looking to clean up as Moon falling low. The illusions from MP kind of being turned upon themselves for Sax against them out. Resolution coming back in with the second life, but the evasion, he can't quite get the punches through to MP. MP forced to the right, 3 dead on DC. Resolution's just rounded. He should go down as well here as bam, the remnants come through from mid one. DC losing 4, and Secret just about pulling that team fight off again. Incredibly close. Some of the cores falling almost to their death there, but they just about do it, Ben. They hold on, and they will get the goal advantage out of that one. About 2,500 lead off the back of that.
Yes,
very intense fight.
Puppey's Helmet Dominator, that definitely saved
that Purge creep there.
It destroyed Resolution. He had the Lotus Orb on him, but it doesn't matter if you reflect it back to the Satyrs.
Yeah.
Satyrs doesn't care about being purged.
Dire's bottom
So,
tower is
yeah,
under attack.
he just got kited continuously. He also didn't have that much damage. He did go for the Mjolnir instead of the MKB, and he wasn't able to hit the Luna at all. Luna was at like critical HP, 20% perhaps, just needed a couple of hits to connect, but I also think he had his Echo Saber in his backpack because he had to make room for the Aegis, so he didn't have as much damage as he normally would. And now they're struggling for ways to actually finish off this Luna, who has an incredible amount of HP with 3265.
High. We'll drop down the ward hit. It looks like Saxo and Weehar were questioning if they could get close enough to punish him for it. I mean, the kind of the frequency of these fights certainly paying off for Puppey. I mean, still 42 stolen intelligence and 3.3k gold in the bank. It's going to be interesting to see where Puppey goes next with his build. Does he finish with the Hurricane Pike, or does he look for something a little bit bigger now on the Silencer?
I think Pike and Scythe are both very, very good at this point. I think the Ogre is also making a big difference with the items. I think the Solar Crest is really good. It just makes Lifestealers like miserable. And on top of that, he's very close to a Force Staff. And Force Staffs, they can't kill anyone. There's so much single target damage.
This game. Yeah, the amount of kite that Secret's been able to pull off against Resolution has certainly done it for them in these fights here. Misery will dispel some of the smoke. They're going to head the wrong way though. Secret jump forward. They're not going to find a hero. They will of course find the shrine immediately. Looking to take it down. DC They might want to contest this though. Moon has the epicenter at the ready. Midpoint again there with these chains, making sure any sort of blink initiation is going to be hard. Defensive disruption. Saxa able to get the blink out just in time. MP though pops the BKB. He wants to fight, charging straight forward towards them. Won't quite get them. They can't quite get a latch onto DC, so DC keep themselves safe and sound and back up. MP will have burnt through a BKB charge for that one, but they did end up finishing off the shrine.
Getting worse and worse for DC. They can't even fight when Global's not used. And like Ember Spirit is ridiculously strong with these fights too. Luna gave them the vision that they needed to go all the way downhill and catch those two with the chains. And once your Sand King is chained, it's very easy to just bum rush them if they like.
Mid one 450 or so away from a completed Octarine Court. DC going for a smoke themselves. See if they catch anyone out from Secret pushing up this top lane, but at the moment Secret pretty much holding hands as they retreat up on the top. Kezu now with the Aghanim Scepter, something else that's going to be incredibly infuriating for DC to cope with in these team fights.
Silencer actually went for Shiva's guard. He wants to be able to tank the Lifestealer.
I mean, very, yeah. It is a tanky Silencer. 28 armor, over 2k HP. It's no longer that hero that you can kind of look to pick off on the back lines.
Yeah, definitely not. And if they don't kill the Silencer during the rage, the Lifestealer is just going to be kited forever. In between Last Word and then 4 Staffs and then 8 Toes on top of that. Like, it's Shiva's. Like, his damage is so low. I think it was the right choice for him to go Mjolnir, though, just because of how many kiting tools they have. He's just there to tank so that someone else can do damage, and that has to be Wii. Wii does not have Refresher, nor does he have Octarine. He's also going more lockdown style with the Scythe of Vice to hopefully kill someone with the aid of the Lifestealer, but I don't actually know where the damage is coming from.
He's going for the Refresher now. He's about 2/3 of the way towards it. But still, they need that time. They need to get that item on for him. I mean, looking again towards Resolution, level 23, is there any... Yeah, is MKB queued up next? As we've seen, they need that item, because without that, it's very unlikely they're killing MP in these team fights.
Yep. They need the Invoker, I think, to bait out all the BKBs with the Refresher. And then after he refreshes, he can actually do a lot of damage once their BKBs are down. So he's still a little bit away. He's very close. He actually sold his Midas, didn't backpack it like you'll see sometimes. Perhaps just kind of wanting that extra influx of gold right now. It's not that great putting it in your backpack a lot of times just because it takes forever for it to cool down. And it seems like he just wants that 1,000 gold ASAP. Just, 200 gold away from that Refresher Orb.
He's getting closer and closer and closer. Mid lane, DC not doing their best to make sure that Secret can't climb up to the high ground. We saw earlier that Secret obviously take down the melee ranks, but ever since that, DC's high ground defense has certainly been enough to slow down the pace of Secret in terms of getting buildings. In terms of getting items, though, that hasn't been the case, as we've seen Secret continuing to progress with very strong farm. He's now feeling the confidence to come out and have a look around, see what he can find. Kezu is there with the gem. Not quite get the grab. Of course, Misery as well with his own gem. So both of these sneaky heroes spotting each other out across the map. Overall, though, look at the swing. Secret now reaching up to a 15,000 net worth. The swing has really come into full force. We saw Secret able to pick it up from a DC lead, and still now it's up to DC to pick the game back up from a strong lead of Secrets.
Roshan kind of eyed up next. The net worth graph. Oh.
Mid lane immediately in onto Saxa. Weeha puts the BKB Ghost Walk. He is out. Moon's in though. Jumps forward with the Burrow Strike. I'll look to chase him down. MP's put the BKB. Won't be able to get the catch onto him as Moon blinks away. So once again, Saxa, the lone man going down. Global Silence was used for that though. Can they do anything with this opening from DC? That's the question. They'll buy back on the Shadow Demon, but Moon just gets ripped to pieces. He's out for 80 seconds and does not have the money for buyback. Moon is out.
You got Searing Chains. It's so good versus the Sand King.
Yeah, especially with that extra level 25 with the extra 2 seconds.
Monitor was off.
See what they can do. Nimble. Jumping forward, Refresher Orb now complete on Wii. He goes full in for the purchase. No buyback will be available for him as well. So fully committing to this hold, and they need to. If they wish to hold on to this second set of racks up on the top lane. Jump forward from mid one, looking towards Saxa. Tornado, there's the setup from Weeha, refreshes, looking for the second spell, can't quite get it out, pops the BKB, now looking to charge forward. Kezu buried up, but he's forced down to the low ground, kept safe by his teammates. DC can't quite find the lock-in. Mid one can though, jumps in, hit the two-man chains. We are in a lot of trouble. He's already used the refresher and the BKB. Hasn't got money for buyback, can't allow himself to be taken down. The chains just holding back Resolution and Misery. The Glaze pummeling through from MP. Resolution's down low. DC now with 2 men on the sidelines, no buyback available on them. And MP, they just can't bring down this man. He's too strong on the Luna. GG is called, and Secret take game 1, 35-18. The Luna, the Ember Spirit, they're too strong, Ben.
What the heck was that refresher? He like Tornado? I think he might have tried to hex him, but I was waiting for some sick combos. I don't know. Maybe he hasn't been